Shalom. Call Halal, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Barak, Qadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. The 144,000 and the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth among the heathen that look like the heathen. And to the few Aquath that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with a quick lesson in truth. I'd like to say Shabbat Shalom as well to all the hopeful elect out there, all the elect. And just a quick clip, portion of the Patriot nurse going in on Biden. And you see the title of the video at the bottom of the screen. This thing is about to pop. Putin, Biden, and the train wreck. All right. But there was a portion, I was watching another video, and there was something that she said about Russian history. And which made, and watching another video, the spirit jumped on me to do this lesson. All right. So just bear with me, and you'll see where I'm going with this in a moment. So let's play what she has to say right here.
That's going to play into things. But then also talk about just the issues with Joe Biden, the Democrat Party, and essentially what we can look forward to over the next little bit. So my background as far as Russian politics and Eastern European history, I have not studied this extensively. I do not have a college degree in this, and obviously my major was nursing. I did not spend exhaustive amounts of collegiate hours studying this. However, in my post-collegiate time, I have taken upon myself to further educate myself and to participate in great courses and several things, read books, etc., regarding imperial Russian history and also just Russian history in general. So I make the statements with that lens as my default. I'm not an expert in this, but I know enough to essentially perform decently on a Jeopardy challenge, I hope. There are a lot of you out there who have studied this in depth, or you have family from these parts of the world, and so maybe you can elucidate in the comments some further points here. The fact that Putin spent half an hour, effectively, in the Tucker Carlson interview, drawing out the historical underpinning of the Russian cause and the Russian perspective, and then you juxtapose that against Joe Biden, who cannot remember when he was vice president, would be laughable if it wasn't so starkly real in its consequences.
Let's stop it right there. All right. So she said a mouthful. But, hold on. But what she really said was that she didn't know anything about Europe, Eastern European history. And that she studied it, which means she didn't study it enough, because if she really studied it, she would understand that there is no such thing as Europe. All right, so let's zoom in on this map. This is a map of Europe. It's called the Asia. All right, this is actually a teacher's map. Okay, and what you're looking at is the map of all of Asia. The so-called Middle East is included. All right. They fraudulently call that. But guess what? All they did with Europe was painted another color and say that it's another continent. It's not. All of this is one continent. When you word search the word Europe in the Bible, it does not exist. But guess what does exist? Asia. And this was all of Asia. Scipio Africanus, after the Hellenization of the Israelites, all right, after the conquering of Alexander of Macedon, who was an Edomite, who came out of the land of Kittim. His original home was south of Israel in Jordan in a place called Petra. And I got the receipts to show you the same Edomite relics that were found and all throughout Greece and Rome were also found in Petra, including the eagle. So there's no more denying this thing. And I'm going to do a video specifically on that. All right. But let me show that receipt for anyone who might run their mouth. Well, it's in my other phone. That's okay. We'll get to it. We're going to do a lesson on that. But basically, I wonder if I put it, wait a second. It might be in my evidence folder. I'm not sure if I saved it to it or not. So let me go to the very end because that's where it will be. No, I haven't put it in there yet, but I definitely will. But there are relics in there that are no different from the other relics, showing you that the so-called white man indeed did come from Petra, which is Mount Seir in the Bible. All right, he did not come from the Caucasus Mountains. The Caucasus Mountains are up here in this part of Asia that they fraudulently call Europe. The Caucasus Mountains. As a matter of fact, let's pull out. Let me back out. Let's back out again. And I actually have that map here. Okay. And this is my personal map of this map. All right. And you see the Caucasus Mountain right here. You see there is no separation between Asia and Europe. All right. Europe is something that they made up, the whole thing with, Europe being a place to home, because what they don't, this is Esau, Edom took over this portion of Asia. As a matter of fact, they took over almost all of Asia. The Russians are Edomites as well. Okay. And they put, and Ammon and Moab got pushed way to the far east. Elam and Ishmael got pushed down here and, toward Pakistan, Afghanistan, in that region. But for the most part, Esau went up into there. So she didn't learn her history very well. Matter of fact, let me grab a scripture. Let's grab a scripture now. Because I believe that the image that I'm looking for is actually in the phone. I know it's in the phone that I'm actually using to record. And I didn't download it to my, and these phones are in sync. But I hadn't put it in my evidence folder yet, so I couldn't pull it up. So I won't make that mistake again. But let's go to Job 2 and 24 and 2. All right, Job 24 and 2, and it reads. Come on now. Down it. 24, 2. It's taking its time. It don't want to pull up. Must be getting incoming messages or something. Or it's just, there we go. Job 24 and 2. Some remove the landmarks. They violently take away flocks and feed thereof. So, the whole world knows who the colonizers are. The Edomites. They violently take away a man and his heritage, and they remove landmarks, and then they create narratives. And one of those false narratives, just like whiteness was created in 1681, prior to that, there was no group of people called white people. You won't find that anywhere in any writing. That didn't come about until 1681 in Virginia, all right? And you won't find the word Caucasian in the Bible. You won't find that at all, because it wasn't until Esau, Edom came into power to where they made color an issue, because no one cared about color prior to that. People really wanted to know what seed line you were from. And most of the world was melanated. And people also knew that even someone who was pale could still have a melanated forefather, which would make them of that race and not of a race according to their color. That was a lie that Esau propagated. So she said that she did all this studying. She could do well on a, well, basically she studied the lies that Esau has taught. She didn't really study. Because if she studied truly, she would be speaking the same that I'm speaking now. Showing you these evidences. I'm showing you receipts. I'm showing you the physical land of Asia. And Europe is a part of Asia. Just because you color it different on a drawing, on a map, doesn't make it not Asia. That would be like if you painted a portion of Africa there, and just because it's a different color, you call it a different land. No, Esau Edom is a liar. And the father, anyway, let's go to this video now. Let's provide some more. So here's a video of Russian icons. You can see the title of the video at the bottom of the screen. It's called Rare Icons on Display in Russia, Moscow. And all you see is black images, all right, of the Israelites and all the holy images. So you have to ask yourself, where did these come from and why are they there? And why would white people paint images of so-called black people? Well, because black people were there before the Edomites came in there and took it over. All right. When Rome fell, the Israelites dominated that area. These images, they're saying these are from the 1400s, but they're images that go back to the 6th and 7th century in this part of, and the rest of Europe as well. But they ignore those images as if they don't exist and still try to push this false European narrative. All right. So, so when did this all happen? Let's go to the book of Acts, because the book of Acts, matter of fact, I Google searched this word. All right. And it was Antioch. All right. In Antioch. All right. Because that's where the first place where the Israelites were referred to as Christians. All right. And Antioch happens to be, let's pull out the trusty map again. Let's wiggle it. Like that sound. Antioch was in Turkey. And Turkey sits in Western Asia, which they falsely and fraudulently call the Middle East. All right. Okay. That's where Paul was going to, for these idiots that want to try to discredit Paul and they get mad when you point out their madness. All right. But this is Acts 11 and 22. And it says, and then the tidings of these came unto the ears of the church, which was in Jerusalem. And they sent forth Barnabas that he would go as far as Antioch. So why is we just saw what Antioch was. But why would Barnabas leave Jerusalem and go to Antioch and speak to heathens? He was going to speak to the Hellenists, the Hellenized Jews. When you look up the word Hellenist and Hellenista, all right, Hellenista were I always mix the two up, all right, but one means Jews who cleaved on to Greek ways but knew they were Israelites, and then the other men were just Greek-speaking Jews, ones who were actually, Israelites of the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, or Levi. All right. And I hate that J word because that's a whole nother lesson in confusion. Judeans. All right. They were either Benjamin, Levi, or Judah and did not know it, but they were by blood, according to their race, according to their heritage. And then one was, they knew who they were, but they spoke and chose to follow the ways of the Greeks. Which had been taken over by Esau, because the Greeks were melanated people too, originally. All right. So that is the reason why Barnabas went to Antioch, because he was going to speak to his brethren according to the flesh, Romans 9, 1 through 5. All right. So this is Acts 11 and 22. And the tidings that came unto the ears of the church, which was in Jerusalem, and they set forth Barnabas that he should go as far as Antioch, jumping up to 26. And when he had found him, he brought him into Antioch. And it came to pass that the whole year they assembled themselves in the church and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch. Well, who were these disciples? These disciples were all Hebrews. They were all Israelites. And these Israelites were first called Christians. And that was a transliteration of Hamashiach, a Hebrew word. Followers of the Hamashiachs. All right. That's what they were. And they were first called that in Antioch, which was in evidence. Western Asia. All right. Or what they refer to as Asia Minor, which they now call the Middle East. Fraudulently, falsely. All right. So let's look at another evidence. Let's get another receipt. Oh, wait, Acts 11 and 27. And these days came the prophets from Jerusalem unto Antioch. Well, when you read in the Bible, all the prophets were Israelites. Every one of them. So the Patriot Nurse didn't really study as well as she thinks she did. All right. She didn't study well at all. because he studied according to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, who's nothing but a liar and a deceiver. That's what devil means, deceiver. Satan means adversary. You have a human adversary. Lucifer means light bearer. This is talking about a people, a man. And so why do they not have these same dark images of the Lord, of Mary and the prophets and the saints in the churches today? Why did they, in the Renaissance, whitewash them, iconoclast them? Iconoclasm means destruction of the icons. Okay? Here's Acts 13:1. And this is one of my favorite scriptures to bring out. All right? And it says, and now there was in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers as Barnabas and Simeon that were called nigger. It's not Niger, it's not Niger, it's actually nigger, and I'm going to prove it to you. I've done this so many times. All right? And Lucius of Cyrene and Manian, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch and Saul. Right? Because the word nigger simply meant someone who was dark complected. It didn't have a negative connotation on it that it has today. All right, so let me go behind me and grab a couple of dictionaries. All right. Both are the Winston Simplified Dictionary Encyclopedic Edition, 1933. All right, with biblical references. And then the Winston Simplified Dictionary Intermediate Edition, all right, from 1925. So let's look up. I don't think I've ever even looked up nigger in this one. Okay. So the disciples, the prophets, were called nigger because they were. And it didn't mean what it means today. The word, and that's another reason why they make it a bad word and don't want you to talk about it. And why they remove this definition from all modern day dictionaries. All right. There it is. Found it. Page 144. Page 414. All right. Let's show you the top. Page 414. Nigger. And I suggest that you screenshot it. All right. It says a vulgar or contemptuous term for a Negro. All right. Now, I'm gonna show you that was the intermediate edition. Now let's show you from the 1933 collegiate encyclopedia with biblical references of the same word. All right, you saw how it was spelled and how it's pronounced. And this one is even going to show you the phonetic spelling. Wait a minute, I didn't even look for that in this one. Let's go back. Let you get that screenshot again so you can cut Esau's lies, cut right through it. For anyone who wants to try and debate it. Like we said, all the things that come from their yep, it shows you the phonetic spelling, and it's Niger, just like Niger. See? So it's not Niger, it's not Niger, it's nigger. Okay? That was from the 1925. Now let's show you the 1933. Now remember, we're talking about the disciples, the Israelites, the men who followed the Lord, the men who were doing the work and teaching the gospel here. Okay? That's what we're talking about. That is the subject matter. And you're looking at them on the screen. The very same niggers. Page 657. And this one, let's show you the page number. Page 657. Now let's go down so you can screenshot this one for your records. All right? What's the phonetic spelling say? All right. Screenshot it. Niger, not Niger, not Niger, but nigger. All right. And it says Negro, dark skin, one, nigger, black, a Negro, now usually a contemptuous or vulgar term. Any dark-skinned persons prevailing among the characteristics of American Negroes, proving that Africans were not called niggers. Africans did not sell Africans. Africans sold niggers. I rest my case. All right. Esau is through. He's finished. Matter of fact, let's read one more scripture. Actually, a couple more. All right. I've been wanting to do this lesson for hours now, man. This has been on my spirit. This is Acts 13:4. And it says, but when they departed from Persia, they came to Antioch in Pisidia and went to a synagogue on a Sabbath day and sat down. Why would heathens be going into a synagogue? It was these niggers that you see on the screen, these holy niggers that were teaching the gospel of the Lord, who you fraudulently call Jesus Christ, which you painted into an image of a so-called white man. Putin went on TV, on national TV. All right? Goddamn commercial. These son of a bitches.
And it will stay together, even
Fucking
after you're
Esau.
gone. Help protect your loved ones with guaranteed whole life insurance from United of Omaha.
And you can't even click off of. You gotta let this bullshit play. That's enough more strikes for Esau when the kingdom comes. All right, but let's get straight to it. Let's find it. He's showing you the image of a black Jesus Christ, a nigger, which doesn't mean the negative connotation that it has on it today. All right? The Lord himself. So who are those people over in the land of Israel trying to wear all black? When Jeremiah 14:2 says Judah is black unto the ground, it didn't say that they wear black and wear black hats. As a matter of fact, that hat thing, that's an Edomite thing, part of their culture that came during the time of the Greeks and the Romans. All right? And those places I just read about that he went to in Antioch were also in Turkey. Okay? Perga, matter of fact, I think I did pull it up. There it is. The Roman prophets of Pamphylia, the Sakuta, now located in Tela, the promise on the southwestern coast of Turkey. All right? That was in Turkey, where all these niggers were. All right? And nigger meaning the prophets, the disciples, the men of the Lord who were teaching the gospel to the people. All right? This is I want to finish with this one of my favorite scriptures, which is 2 Ezra. And I wonder, I ponder what the scoffers are going to say. When you produce videos like this, someone will still be stupid enough to make a dumbass comment, though, but that's okay. The Lord's going to silence them all in the moment. But this is 2 Ezra 6:27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared. And that's what you're witnessing. The truth coming out brutally. All right? So with that, I'm going to give all praises, all honor, and glory unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash, Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.